Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar, How to Avoid Common Pitfalls when Migrating to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. So my name is Paulius. I'm a leading Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management architect at Companion. I'm working with Dynamics for more than 10 years already, and right now one of my roles is helping partners to migrate to Dynamics 365 from the legacy or the on-premises Dynamics AX 2012 versions. And today I'll be sharing some experience from our side, some lessons learned, some techniques, and some good tips on the migrations and why the migrations are still relevant, and what are the best ways and what are the best tips and best practices how to do migrations from Dynamics AX on-premises versions such as AX 12 and AX 2009 to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. So let's get started, first of all, with the agenda for today's webinar. So firstly, I'm going to introduce quickly Companion, the company that we are coming from. And then we're going to talk about a bit about the benefits of the cloud. So why cloud, why to move to cloud, and what you're missing while you're not, while your customers have not migrated to cloud. Then we're going to talk about the common challenges that customers and the partners face when migrating to Dynamics 365, and also how to best overcome them. I'm going to share best practices, and let's say from our experience and also from Microsoft guidelines, how to migrate to cloud, what practices to use in the migration projects, and how to make them successfully. And on the same topic, the last one will be lessons learned again. What we have learned from the migrations, where we work together with our partners, and what basically helped us to save the projects and save the day. And at the end of the webinar, we're gonna have a quick Q&A session, just for you to give any questions that you have on your minds. So let's get started. First of all, a few words about Companion. So Companion, well, we see ourselves as the ambassadors for Dynamics partner community. Our experience and engagement with partners also shows in the numbers. We have more than 200 employees with more than 2,000 years of Dynamics experience combined. We have done for Dynamics AX, we have already done more than 200 best path assessments, so basically the upgrade or migration assessments, to our partners, together with our partners to customers. From the technical experience hours, we have done more than 40,000 hours of Dynamics AX and Dynamics 365 Finance Supply Chain Management, so we really know the technical bits and pieces of Dynamics 365. And yeah, we have a ISV marketplace, which you might have heard about, where we have ISV solutions, where we help us to build ISV solutions, and where we have helped to deliver ISV solutions to our partners. From the Business Central side, we also have Business Central team, and Business Central team has done more than 700 upgrades. We ourselves at the Finance Supply Chain Management side, we have done around 40 migrations or upgrades already to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. And last but not least, we have we are working with more than 1,000 partners in 75 plus countries. So that's in a nutshell Companion. We are part of also of Microsoft Inner Circle, which also gives us extra hand and extra access to the knowledge and the latest and greatest things that Microsoft delivers. And one thing also to know about us, we are partners, so we only work with partners. We don't work with Dynamics customers, which you already might know. So this is all that I'll be telling about Companion. Not gonna be taking that much time anymore, and this is what everything that you should know. But hey, let's jump into the main topic. So let's jump into the Dynamics migration to cloud and Dynamics 365 migration to cloud. And first of all, let's talk about the benefits of cloud and what are you missing out if you're not migrating to cloud. So the biggest messaging now from Microsoft, you probably are aware, is that Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management really works together with the Power Platform, and the big buzzwords right now are Dataverse, and I guess the upcoming word is probably the ChatGPT and the Copilot, which is also coming to Dynamics. But hey, basically Dynamics 365, when you migrate to cloud Dynamics 365, it works together with Power Platform. and when you stay the on-premises ERP systems, it doesn't. So that's one great advantage that you're missing, probably one of the major ones. And yeah, what it really enables you to do. So first of all, when you are on Dynamics 365 Cloud and when you connect it with Dataverse and with Power Platform, you are able to build state-of-the-art, latest and greatest reporting solutions using Power BI for your business analytics. You are also enabling your users to be citizen developers, as Microsoft says, and you are enabling them to build Power Apps. So make some quick customizations to Dynamics 365 without actually having to rely on coding Dynamics. You're also enabling your customers or even you as a partner to build easy automation flows using Power Automate. You're able to build intelligent virtual agents using Power Virtual Agents. And the latest one that's available on Power Platform is the external facing websites. You can even build websites based on your Dynamics data using Power Pages. So this is what Power Platform basically enables you to do. And yeah, just a quick overview. So Dataverse and Power Platform general benefits for Dynamics 365. So Dataverse is also a new thing, well, relatively new thing that's been available for Dynamics 365. But basically, what it gives you your first of all, the Power Platform components, easy access to Dynamics 365 data. Also, it enables seamless integration with other Dynamics 365 applications. Namely, for Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, the most popular integration is, of course, the integration with CRM or Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement, right? So that's quickly the few benefits about when migrating to cloud. From the other side, migrating to cloud enables wider digital transformation in our organization. And actually, in the latest projects that I've been working on, we have seen that it's not only that customer is switching their on-premises AX to the cloud AX, right? To the cloud Dynamics 365 Finance Supply Chain Management. No, customer is basically willing to invest, of course, to perform a broader digital transformation. So they are one time they are migrating their on-premises ERP to cloud ERP, and yeah, that makes system more accessible to users. So that's a good starting point. But also, cloud ERP is easier to integrate with other applications, and especially with the cloud applications. So there's most likely there is a more up-to-date applications, in an organization. Maybe that's a manufacturing planning software. Maybe that's a document management software, right? There's probably latest and greatest versions that are available, and that can be also updated at the same time when the customer is switching ERP. So your role as a partner is basically to look at those migrations and to not only look at migrations as you're going to only migrate AX and going to leave everything as is, but you should promote the broader digital transformation to the customer organizations. So because later on of course, at the start, it's going to require big investment, but later on, it will reap better benefits to the customer. And let's switch to another angle of why migrate to cloud. So there's another angle how to look at it. So there's also the costing side of things, right? So as you might know, still. Right, there's still a possibility to migrate to on-premises, even to Dynamics AX, to Dynamics 365. But yeah, generally migrating to cloud offers customer organization a lower TCO, lower total cost of ownership. So Microsoft's using this iceberg slide, which I also borrowed. But basically, what we are trying to say here is that generally, subscription fees On the cloud side, subscription fees is, well, they are bigger, right, than the on-premises licenses, but this is a visible piece of the cost. And on the bottom side of the iceberg, on the underwater side of the iceberg, what you're seeing is implementation, customization, and training costs, right? While for the on-premises side, you have the software licensing cost, which might be lower than the subscription fees for cloud software. But at the bottom side of the iceberg, you have customization costs, same as for cloud. But on top of that, you have hardware, IT team, maintenance, upgrades, licenses for servers themselves. So it's all adding up to that cost. And while on-prem offering might look more attractive from the pricing perspective, the total cost of ownership of that solution is generally considered to be higher than the cloud solution. And last but not least, so migrating to clouds offers a competitive edge to your customers. So with the latest greatest reporting capabilities and that are powered by cloud behind that, you are getting real-time visibility into your business. You are enabling flexibility and scalability. So mergers and acquisitions are really the thing that's happening nowadays, especially since the pandemic started. So scalability is really important, and cloud, by definition, that's scalable easily. You just add more licenses, rescale your Dynamics 365 instance, and off you go. Also, you're getting easier access to other Microsoft solutions such as Azure, IoT, Power BI, and as I mentioned, Dataverse, all of the greatest and latest things that are there. You are getting access straight away when you are on cloud. And you're getting constant updates from Microsoft, right? So this is another very important aspect. On-premises software is also getting, but the Dynamics 365 Cloud is the primary target for the constant updates. So you're getting constant bugs, fixes, and new features. You're also getting things like automatic backups and restores by Microsoft. You're getting 24/7 365 service level agreement. So basically that your ERP is always online. You're getting, by definition, improved security, privacy, and reliability with Azure Cloud, and generally increased productivity, speed, and innovation with the latest and greatest application that is there on the market. So that was quickly the key benefits of switching to cloud. So generally, just to summarize, cloud enables the latest and greatest, integrating your ERP with latest and greatest technologies that are there, such as Dataverse, Power BI, Power Apps. And yeah, it enables a broader digital transformation if your customer is up to it. But also it offers a lower TCO, and in generally it offers the more modern ERP, which results in ERP being more stable as it's being updated constantly, being more stable because it's hosted by Microsoft, more secure, more flexible, and just more modern and up to date. So that was some key reasons why it's worth to migrate to cloud, and what are you missing when you're not. Now let's talk about, okay, so cloud sounds nice and cool. So yeah, what are potential migration challenges and how to overcome them? So I'm going to share our experience as we are working with partners quite a lot on migrations. I'm going to share some common fears and common challenges that you are facing and how to overcome them. So yeah, some, let's say, biggest fears when migrating to cloud are, first of all, customers, and then consequentially, the partners are afraid of cost. That's probably one of the biggest ones. The second one is the uncertainty and potential risk. So, okay, when I'm gonna spend X amount of money, what we're gonna end up, right? Are there be more risks? Are there going to be more pitfalls? Maybe I'm going to make my processes worse. So this is all very, very common fears that are relevant when thinking about migration to cloud and migration to cloud Dynamics 365 Finance Supply Chain Management. And the last fear is, well, what's the end at the tunnel, right? What is it, the light at the end of the tunnel, or is it the train that's coming here, right? When we're done with the migration, is our organization going to be better off, or are we going to, introduce a new piece of software that we're not going to be happy to use? So these are the common fears. We usually see them quite often with the migrations, especially when thinking about migration and starting migration. And now, how you should address those fears. So one way to go is to evaluate different paths before starting migration. So before you with your customer get invested in one approach, and I'm going to share the approaches a bit later, maybe it's a good idea to talk about all of the different paths that are there and choose the right approach for migration. Already early and evaluate different paths before choosing. Don't stick to one path straight away and don't think about anything else. Another thing is define the expected outcome. So again, this is very, very important. What is the customer organization expecting after the migration? Whether you're only thinking about, as I said previously, are you only going to replace the on-premises here to cloud? Or are you gonna make a bigger transformation? Maybe you're only gonna migrate the finance part. So it's really important to define it at the beginning, again, because it's important to have a goalpost and use all of that energy to achieve it. And lastly, it's important to evaluate a wide set of factors that can influence migration approach. And I'm gonna share what's important to evaluate. So I remember I talked about different paths and what are different paths to migrate to Dynamics 365. So specifically with Dynamics AX, we say that there are generally 3 paths to migrate to Dynamics 365 Finance Supply Chain Management to cloud. So first path is upgrade. You can basically take existing Dynamics AX implementation and upgrade it to Dynamics 365. There is possibility to do that. There is technical tools and there are methodologies available to upgrade that solution, and you can have somewhat one-to-one solution in cloud. Another probable and quite popular approach is re-implementing, right? So many customers and many partners especially are promoting, your AX is obsolete, and let's just re-implement it from scratch. So this is also a popular approach, and yeah, it's of course it's applicable and it's relevant. So this approach is basically taking the old Dynamics AX, throwing it away, and doing full-fledged functional analysis, gap fits, and implementing new Dynamics 365 in place of it. And the last part, we call it migrate. This is the part this is the path that we are actually advocates of, where we basically say that, you know what, some pieces of solution should be re-implemented because they are outdated, right? Or maybe replaced by standard Dynamics 365. But on the other side, also a decent part of your customer solution might be upgraded as is, because that is still not covered with the new Dynamics 365, and it was done on purpose, and the code is still relevant, so why not? So the migrate is basically a mix of 2 above, and also that's a relevant path when thinking about migration to Dynamics 365. So yeah, so just to wrap up about basically, what's the best way to avoid the potential challenges? As we say, is to start early, start analyzing early, evaluate those 3 different paths, think about the expected outcome, and put all of the energy and planning to that expected outcome, and pick the right pieces, analyze early. Now, continuing on the last topic, what are the best practices for migration to cloud? So generally, we say that there are a few things that can make migration easier. First of all, as I already mentioned, I'm going to reiterate myself, analyze and plan early. So start with analysis even before as soon as you start thinking about migration, start with analysis, maybe a quick analysis. You don't have to do a full-fledged analysis, and you don't have to do analysis about already doing a gap fit analysis. No, just evaluate what is there already and what are the possibilities of migrating what is there already. Define the expected outcome. Another thing is consider phased rollout. So this is new messaging, and I'm going to explain a bit more about phased rollout, why it's so good. And lastly, promote digital transformation to your customers. So about what to analyze even before you're thinking about analysis, right? So there are different factors that can influence your migration, your customers' migration to Dynamics 365 into cloud, and you should consider them before even starting migration, before even starting the analysis, the big analysis for migration. So first of all, you should talk with your customer about whether they are thinking about any business reorganization or restructure. There might be some changes in the organization, and the old ERP might not reflect them, or maybe some extra companies were acquired, or maybe some companies were shut down, and they are still in the old system. Another business change might be that there are business process changes. Maybe they're changing chart of accounts. Maybe they're changing, their fiscal year's calendar, or maybe they are doing even more and broader changes in the business processes, and they want to incorporate that in the ERP implementation, right? So you need to think about that and talk about that with your customer even before thinking about migration, right? Before analyzing. Another set of factors is database and data. So you should evaluate what's the data quality right now in the legacy system. Is it integral? Is it maybe there's some historical data that can be removed, or maybe it has to be archived, or maybe that historical data needs to be migrated to the new system because there is a requirement from the government. So all of that you also need to think about and evaluate that when you're thinking about migration. Next set of the factors is, of course, customizations. Everybody has customizations on their ERP. And when talking about AX 2012, of course, your customers have customizations, probably thousands of them. And when thinking about customizations, this is what you need to evaluate. So first of all, there's a good possibility that the previously done customizations aren't right now standard in Dynamics 365. Microsoft is really pushing a lot of things in Dynamics 365, and there's a good possibility that standard is covering them. Again, maybe there's some organization changes that are reflected in code. For example, maybe there's some code that's supporting the old legal entity that's not relevant anymore, or maybe there's some new code needed that's not there in AX 2012 anymore. So you need to evaluate that. Same goes with the business processes. There is good possibility that customers thinking about changing business processes. Maybe they're changing the way they're gonna plan their production. Maybe they changed the process how they're managing product information. So that needs to be evaluated because there is a code that supports the old process, and maybe that code should be thrown away, or maybe that code can be carried over if the processes are the same. And same goes for other different business workflows, and there might be also changes that are customizations that are implemented, and can be replaced maybe even by ISV solution, or maybe they are just plain not supported anymore. So about customizations, there are many things to evaluate, and again, you should do a scan of the old customizations, even before you pick the path which way to go to Dynamics 365. And last but not least, the set of factors is ISVs and or the third-party solutions and integrations. Again, ISVs is usually quite a sensitive topic, so you should evaluate. First of all, if your customer has third-party solutions right now, maybe those third-party solutions are not needed anymore because they are covered by standard, or maybe the third-party solution provider has a new updated solution available, or maybe you just can plainly be thrown away because it's not needed anymore. So you should evaluate that. Regards integrations, that's a whole different topic. I'm not going to elaborate a lot here, but integrations, when thinking about migrating to cloud, you should really evaluate the integrations. What is there? There's a good possibility that integrations will have to be redone from scratch because, AX is on-prem software. Dynamics 365 Finance Supply Chain Management is cloud software. Integration technologies between on-premises software and cloud software are quite different. So there's a good possibility that integrations will have to be redone, and that's a whole nother analysis session that you should do on integrations. So yeah, that's a lot to consider, but yeah, as I'm sharing the best practices right now, how to migrate to cloud. So this is what you should evaluate even before starting the big analysis, or even before picking whether you are going to re-implement that customer or migrate that customer. This is what you should evaluate at the very first phase of your evaluation. My next best practice that I wanted to share with you is phased rollout. Now, what is phased rollout? Phased rollout, when migrating to Dynamics 365, is basically you should consider, and you should promote your customer to do that. You should consider basically phased rollout. Maybe you can split the migration project into smaller rollouts. Few examples how to do that. Maybe you can migrate one country or another. Start with the country that has the least amount of customizations to standard, or that requires the least amount of customizations to standard. Or maybe you can go live on Dynamics 365 or with some process, maybe sales process, maybe procurement process. So start with a smaller piece. Why? Yeah, of course, it might require extra effort, but the payoff is that this approach keeps the whole project team more engaged. So the team that will be delivering project has a good milestone, which is not 2 years away from the start, but it's maybe 6 months away from the start. So the whole team will be engaged. And also the stakeholders and the project sponsors will also be, engaged and more likely to continue to sponsor the project because, hey, they are also going to see the progress, right? Okay, so yeah, great, we're making progress. We went live with one country. So everybody will be more engaged, and you have let's say, a more tangible pieces of the project with the phased rollout. And yeah, from our experience, actually, especially with bigger organizations, this is the way to go, and it really, really works, and sometimes even helps to save the project. Yeah, so this is about the phased rollout, why and how you should do that, and you should promote that to your customers. And yeah, as I previously mentioned, digital transformation. This is again something that you should provide, and this is even in the best practice piece of advice that I'm doing today. Well, some good reasons why you should promote and why your customers should do the digital transformation is, first of all, it helps us save the costs in the longer term. Just a simple example why it helps us save costs. So yeah, imagine you are now going with Dynamics 365, going live with Dynamics 365, right, on the cloud, but the rest of your applications, your customers' applications, they are still on-prem. That means you have to build some probably temporary integrations with the on-prem software, which will go away in the longer term. So, in the shorter term, of course, you're saving costs because you're not implementing the other applications, but in the longer term, you are just building some pieces of software that will be not relevant anymore. So yeah, digital transformation helps to save costs in the longer term, and I'm not even yet talking about improved and optimized processes, which also help to save a lot of costs for the organization in the longer term. And by doing a digital transformation, and I'm going to sound like a marketing person here, but yeah, it allows the customer organization to embrace the new industry standards. And in customer organization, maybe there's a great manufacturing software that customers are missing out, so they can utilize all of that by doing a bigger transformation than only migrating their cloud ERP software. Yeah, so this was some best practices. So again, just to summarize that what I shared in this piece is, first of all, analyze a broad set of factors that I was showing actually on my slide. Analyze early before actually even starting the big analysis, before choosing the path for your migration. Second of all, consider phased rollout. Really, that's gonna keep everybody more engaged in the project. And lastly, promote digital transformation to your customers. Now, some lessons learned from our project. The fun part. So, as I mentioned, phased rollout. I'm gonna reiterate again. Phased rollout sometimes can save the day, save the project. So phased rollout allows you to display project progress to the stakeholders easier, have a better timeline management. You can plan smaller pieces of time quite better, and you can even manage resources and plan resources nicely, right? Maybe for the first country rollout, let's say it's Belgium. Yeah, maybe you need X amount of resources, which are not needed anymore when you're gonna do the Netherlands rollout. And for the Netherlands rollout, you might need other team. So it's really easier. It's really easier to do that, and yeah, it's really easier to do the phased rollout. Of course, it might seem more expensive, but in it might save the project. And also, another benefit that I haven't talked yet about of the phased rollout is that there is a easier new ERP adoption in the organization. If you're gonna roll out to one country, that country will start to use. Other countries will not be scared anymore when they see that. Okay, yeah, so Belgium went live 1 month ago, and they still haven't crashed. So we can also maybe use that new piece of software. So yeah, it generally provides a easier adoption in the ERP of the new ERP in the organization, and we have seen that in the projects where we help our partners to work on. Another lesson learned is, and this I haven't shared yet, but yeah, involve users. Don't be afraid to involve users. As a partner, ask your customer to involve users in the project. And I'm not, I don't only mean, involve key users in the analysis and then leave them out. No. Involve not key users, or users who are willing to contribute. Maybe not even key users. Maybe there's some guy in a sales department who's really, interested in this migration. Involve these people in the project. Why? First of all, there's a good personal motivation for these people. There's a potential IT career growth path for those users, right? Because they will learn Dynamics, and who knows, maybe 5 years later, they will be Dynamics consultants. I have seen that in my projects, and yeah, that's what I really want to, spread the message about, and you as a partner really should do that. Another good benefit of that as well, there's going to be shorter communication path within project team. So if users are on board, it's going to be really nice to have them. Decision making will be faster because there's going to be that guy from the sales or from procurement who knows how the process are run, and the decision making about the new implementation will be way faster. You don't have to have a weekly stand-up or a monthly meeting with the customer, right? That guy is in the team constantly, and on daily stand-up, you can resolve that question. And as I previously mentioned, same as with the phased rollout, involving users in the project will lead you to easier adoption of new ERP system with the organization. Why? Because these users will be advocating for the new system. They will be rooting for that system to go successfully. So they will be advocating, and they will be teaching other users on how to use the new system. Yeah, so that's another lesson learned. And yeah, the next lesson learned is cut the on-premises thinking. So again, I'm going to reiterate the digital transformation. On-prem applications, yes, they're loved by users. They most likely will be difficult to integrate with cloud. And another thing is that the new improved cloud-ready versions of the external applications that are currently used by customer are probably better. For one reason or another, there are more up-to-date versions, which are probably easier to use, maybe have more features. So really, it's good to consider the full-fledged digital transformation and don't only do the ERP upgrade to the cloud. And yeah, try to get rid of as many on-premises connectors and even on-premises external applications as possible. And the last lesson learned is that code migration still makes sense. So reimplementation of Dynamics to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management is not the only way to go. Why? Some customizations in the existing on-premises were done probably for a good reason, and these, every organization that I've seen when thinking about Dynamics 365 Cloud, they're thinking, yeah, of course, we're going to change our processes. At the end of the day, that new version probably has more features, but probably doesn't cover all of the business requirements. And for business requirements of business processes that stay the same, why to reinvent a bicycle? Maybe you can take the existing code, put it through the upgrade path, and have it available in Dynamics 365. Yeah, so it still makes sense. So hey, just a recap on the lessons learned. So first of all, think about phased rollout, really promote phased rollout to your customers, involve key users, cut the on-prem as much as possible, and consider code migration. It can potentially still make sense. Now, where Companion comes into this picture. So we have few services where we can help you as a partner to do the Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management migration. So first of all, we have a best path assessment where we can help you with the initial solution analysis that I was talking so much about today. So we can help you with the initial solution analysis by scanning code, and then by having workshop together with you and potentially your customer to talk about all of the factors that I mentioned before. So we usually talk about the code, about the business processes and how they are still relevant. We talk about data, we talk about integrations, and even we talk about reporting and how to migrate it all. And as an outcome of that workshop, you're getting a workshop report and some next steps. And in that report, you're getting even evaluation, how much migration, what could be the cost of migration, but also you're getting action plan, what to take and what would be the best approach for that specific customer. So out of that action plan, you then can basically plan the project, evaluate the project, and do the migration to cloud. And we have another service which we also are providing to our partners, so we can help you with the actual migration project. And why we are placed to go when you have to migrate Dynamics migration project is we have extensive expertise in the tooling and migration processes. We propose, we have the complete package in place. We can help you with the assessment, we can help you with the migration, and we can help you with the maintenance when the customer is online on Dynamics 365. And as we do an extensive analysis for our migrations, we can offer a tailor-made migration scope for each migration case. And believe me, for Dynamics AX, that's really, really important because every customer, I have done more than 200 analysis. Every customer is different and every customer has a different requirements for the migration. So we can help you on both defining that path and also on executing that path and migrating your customer to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. So with all of that said,